Hello and welcome to this morning news roundup here on Anfield Agenda. My name is Connor. I'm going to take you through all of the news this morning. We have lots of news to go through this morning, including an update on the injury of Ibrahima Konate. He seems to be struggling. We have some quotes around Florian Wirtz. We have talk of Netflix bidding to get the Champions League rights. And on top of that, we may actually be getting a result of this Man City court case. Finally, an outcome looks to be on the horizon. All that and more to come in this video. Please do hit the subscribe button, hit the like button before we get started, and let's just jump into it. Let's start then with Ibrahima Konate, who has been struggling with an injury apparently. So he's gone off on international duty this week with France, of course. And we have a report from a French publication this morning saying Ibrahima Konate missed training with France on Monday and Tuesday and only had individual training and light jogging on Wednesday due to a quadriceps injury. And this is just, it's a disaster. We're already down to 3 defenders at the club. Obviously, Giovanni Leone suffered that ACL injury and he's going to be out for the entire season pretty much. So we really can't be affording to lose another defender. There's already talk that we're not going to sign a defender in January as well. So, we can't do this. We can't. We have to sign a defender in January because even if Kanate does come back from this and he's not missing any games, he is the type of player who will pick up a few injuries over the course of the season. Joe Gomez, another one, another injury-prone defender. We can't rely on what we have at the minute, so it's very worrying to see this already. Let's hope he doesn't play for France and hope he gets a bit of rest and hopefully it doesn't turn into a big deal. But like I said, we can't be relying on the options we have at the club at the minute, long term for this whole season. We're already down to the bare minimum of defenders that we have, but we can't afford to be getting more injuries. So let's hope that this isn't a big thing. Let's hope he is back to fitness soon. But yeah, worrying to see. Little bit of an update then last night as well. Romano was talking about Ibrahima Konate's contract situation and basically said that Liverpool are still in talks to extend his contract, which is good news. Obviously we want him to stay. It's looking a little bit 50-50 at the minute, but it's good to see that the club haven't given up on it. I'm sure the club will push until the last possible moment to get him to stay on decent money. I'm sure they're not going to offer him over what they think he's worth, but if we can get a deal done there, then happy days. I want Konate to stay. He hasn't been up to the standard this season so far, but I think he will bounce back. And I think this contract thing is obviously hanging over his head. It's not going to help. So good news on that one. The club obviously still have some confidence in getting a deal done. So let's see how that plays out over the next couple of weeks. Philipp Lahm then has been speaking about Florian Wirtz's start to life at Liverpool. He said, "I'm not worried about Wirtz at all because he's such an outstanding, brilliant player who simply makes his teammates better. Quality and class always prevail, and that will absolutely be the case with Florian." And it's good to see people coming out and backing him because the talent he has is undeniable. We've seen it in flickers so far this season. He hasn't exactly hit the ground running, but I don't think he's nearly been as bad as people have made out. You see, that flick when he came on against Chelsea, he was on the pitch about 90 seconds. If we had scored from that, that would have been assist of the season right there. He's such just a beautiful player to watch when he's on the ball. So I have absolutely no doubt he will be a success at Liverpool. Good to see Philipp Lahm, of course, coming out and backing him. So yeah, good news on that one to see the media backing him and not everyone's piling on him because he's had a huge pile on from English media already, the whole 007 nonsense. So good to see former players backing him, especially from Germany as well. Great news last night as well for Mohamed Salah. Egypt reaching the World Cup for the second time in the last 3 competitions after not qualifying for the last 28 years before that. So great achievement for Mo. He scored twice last night to seal their spot in the World Cup and he has now broken the record. He is Africa's #1 scorer in World Cup qualifying history with 20 goals ahead of Didier Drogba and Islam Slimani with 18. So that is fantastic for Mo. Good to see Mo back on the score sheet for Egypt last night, of course. Hopefully that will help him get a bit of confidence back. I'm sure this will be a big boost for him getting to the World Cup again with the Egypt team. So like I said, it can't hurt his confidence anyway. That should only help him. So hopefully when we come back from the international break, Mo's in good spirits. He looked in good form last night. He was posting on social media celebrating the qualification. So yeah, always good to see Mo happy. Hopefully, like I said, he can get confidence back and start banging it back in for the Reds as well. Another story that started to break last night from Martin Ziegler of the Times, very respected journalist Martin. So he said Netflix are set to bid for Champions League rights. UEFA are eyeing £4.4 billion a year earnings from club competition TV rights. And this will be very interesting. We've seen, obviously, Amazon Prime has gotten some of the Champions League games recently. And as far as my understanding is, if this deal does go through for Netflix, it would just be a 1 game per round type of thing. It wouldn't be every single game gets moved to Netflix. It seems like they are going to sell them off to mainstream broadcasters, let's say a TNT Sport or a Sky or whoever, and then the likes of Netflix, Prime, all these other streaming services can kind of compete for certain games as well. So the only thing I find with the streaming services, they tend to slightly be off. So they could be 15, 20 seconds behind real time. And if you're watching on a streaming service, even Craig had Sky Glass for a while and he had to change back to the regular Sky because he's behind in games, and you're constantly getting spoilers of goals and stuff. So that would be my only concern. I do like the idea of like streaming services getting games even on Prime. Like it's handy, you can turn off the commentary if you want. You can bring stats up on screen. Like it is a little bit more interactive, let's say, than just watching it on the likes of a Sky Sport where you can't really do anything. So I'm definitely interested to see how this one plays out. Whether they get or not is another story, of course. I think this will kick in 2027, so it's a little bit away again. I know a lot of us have always said we kind of wanted like a Netflix style streaming service for the Premier League. Maybe that will happen someday as well on Netflix, or maybe just the Premier League builds their own thing. But like it's definitely interesting to see the way football broadcasting is going to go in the next couple of years. Like even we see like the overlap, and that's football getting some Bundesliga games on YouTube. So like maybe YouTube at some point competes for Premier League games and Champions League games. It is just fascinating to see like what the wider landscape of football broadcasting is going to look like in a few years. So good one to keep an eye on anyway. It will be interesting if Netflix got some of the games, and yeah, just let's see how this one develops. Now we get on to the juicy stuff. So I did promise an update on the Man City court case. We have an update here from Miguel Delaney of the Independent, who said senior figures across the Premier League are now bracing themselves amid growing murmurs. The decision on Man City's 115 brackets 130 charges is expected this month. So I'll read that again. It is expected this month. Like, we've waited so long. It's been the better part of 3 years now at this point, waiting for a decision on this. And it can't come quick enough because it's just dragged on too long. What I actually want out of the situation, or what I think will happen, I really don't know. I still don't know. I just know I want Man City punished. Whether that's getting them stripped of titles, that opens a new debate then. Like, would we want the trophies in retrospect? Like, I'd take them. I wouldn't be saying no to them if we're offered another couple of Premier League titles, but it just wouldn't feel the same. Like, we're getting robbed of that moment of celebrating it. And I know like people will feel differently, obviously. I know Jurgen Klopp himself basically said if we had given Premier League titles in retrospect, then he would be the one hosting the parade and buying all the drink for everyone. So, like, obviously, I would take the titles, but I think the main thing should be Man City should be getting stripped if they're found guilty. I don't know what else I want in terms of punishment, though. Like, do you just relegate Man City to League Two and let them just rot and lose all their best players? Do you just leave them in the Premier League and give them a 30-point deduction every season for the next 10 seasons? Like, how do you punish a team like this? Like, what is a fair punishment? Like, if they do get found guilty on every single one of these charges, like, they've made a complete mockery of the sport and the competition. Like, the whole sport has lost integrity if they're found guilty with all of these charges. So I'm fascinated to see. Like, I'm generally an optimist, but I'm really just not that optimistic that this is going to be anywhere near as bad as we think it is. Like, I think it's going to be just, whether there's retrospective points deductions, whether there's a small points deduction now, I think it's going to just be a few fines and a slap on the wrist, because like I just have no faith that they'll get punished the way they should be. Like, it's just these things always just seem to never have the outcome we want or we expect. So I'm not holding my breath on it. I do want a conclusion either way, so we can just move on from it. But like I said, I hope they do get harsh punishments if found guilty. But I'm just, like I said, I'm not holding my breath over it. I wanted to finish up then with a stat from Opta, who have got their supercomputer out and crunched some numbers, and they've come up somehow with Arsenal being favourites for the Champions League and the Premier League. So according to Opta's supercomputer, Arsenal have an 18% chance of winning the Champions League and a 44% chance of winning the Premier League. Like, I don't know where they come up with these numbers. Like, fair enough, they're top of the league and stuff, but like, there's no world where Arsenal are favourites to win the Champions League. Like, absolutely not. I'm not having that one bit. Like, fair enough, they should be slightly ahead of us maybe in the league now because they are slightly ahead of us in the league. But I think it's just nonsense, to be honest. Like, if Arsenal end up winning the Champions League and the Premier League, I'll shave my head. I'm that confident that they're not going to do it. It's just not going to happen. I think we'll get them in the league, and I don't think they're going to get anywhere near winning the Champions League. So, yeah, I think up the supercomputer can take a day off now, because that's just, I don't know where to come up with these stats, but yeah, I'm not having that one bit. That's all from me anyway. Thanks for watching this video. Please do hit the subscribe button and the like button, and I will see you very soon. Thank you very much for watching.